what's going on? What is going on, my freaks and geeks out there? Welcome to the Square Roundtable podcast. We are back again with another amazing episode for all of our viewers and listeners out there, all of our anime, comic book, video game, horrible Marvel DC movie nerds. We out there for y'all today.
Shots fired.
So,
Not horrible Marvel DC.
yeah, man, we definitely gonna make some good content for y'all today. But on the topic of that Marvel and DC movies, like we were gonna open up with something else, but I kind of want to talk about another topic that all of us can really participate in because I know you're not too big on anime, Marcus, but I know something that you are into, or better yet, I could say something that you aren't into. So I want to have a debate, y'all. Me and Joshua versus Demetrius and Marcus.
Oh snap!
She-Hulk.
Dude,
We're doing it.
Come on,
We're
don't
doing
do
it.
this to me. Don't do me.
You
like
are evil man.
that. You really, you didn't even tell us this. You were just like, yeah, we're gonna have a
evil.
real chill podcast.
We're
You
doing
tricked
it.
me. You tricked me.
Now I know why you turn off your camera, dude.
We are doing it.
Oh,
Oh,
so
crap.
where did we start? Please
So
tell.
what are we doing here?
I would just like to know why you guys don't like She-Hulk. Why not? Just give me all reasons why you don't like it, and me and Joshua will give our reasons why we do like it.
Okay.
You can go first, Marcus, because mine's very simplistic. It's just, I think yeah, go first. Yeah, you do it. Yeah, mine's not that long.
This won't be a huge segment. I just wanted to get it off our chest. We need to
Okay.
talk about it.
Wow, so you put it on the spot like that.
Yeah, he really did. That's fucked up, by the way.
That
But
really
anyways, it's just not good.
Yeah, I mean that simplifies it. Yeah.
But honestly, but in all honesty and seriousness, for me, I have nothing wrong with the female characters.
Yeah.
The whole, I don't even care about the Megan Thee Stallion thing. I wasn't tripping about that.
Nah.
What I'm upset about is I just don't like the writing and just some of the things and the way they set it up. Don't hit the same for me. And then what really pulls me out of it is the CGI. And I understand it, trust me. But it's so bad that at times, like, I'm trying to watch it. And especially as a film person, it really will take you out if you see something like that. Like it's simple as when they hand her a glass, you can tell that like the mapping and the graphing, whatever they say, whatever term they use, I forget, but you can tell like they didn't clean it up good because it looks like somebody's handing something to a CGI character. So like it's stuff like that, but even down to the fourth wall breaks. In the first episode, they did really well. Like I liked the first episode; it was good. I was like, okay, I see where it's going. And then it just started getting to where they would be like short little looks or a couple of words to like a whole. Like I think you mentioned it, Chad. What was it, at McBeal or whatever show you said?
Yeah, Alan McBeal.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, I get that, but it gotta be executed for me. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I feel like she does it at the wrong times, or she just overdo it, or it turns into a monologue, and I'm just like, it could be done. It's not that it's done poorly. It's just like either you take some of the fat off, or just make them like little, just like Deadpool. His is like a quick, and then boom, like that. But I don't know. I just want people to know that all these people out here who are like bashing most men about not liking it because of the twerking thing is ridiculous, because that's not why people don't like it. People ain't talking about, oh, she twerked with Megan Thee Stallion, because they could have put that in any show. It had nothing to do with the context of the show, because they put it at the very end. It's an end credit scene. So it really, you could tell it was something they threw in there at the last minute. Now, if it would have happened like during the show, like right after the trial or during the trial or something, then yeah, it would have fit like what was going on. But it just was it seemed like it didn't need to be there. But nobody cares if she does that, because that's the She-Hulk's character. She do whatever, she do crazy stuff like that. So I just want to clear that. Stop being out here thinking that all men are mad about that. No.
Yeah, he summed up a lot of what my gripes with it too. But it's just, I will say the last episode I did like it a lot more because there was definitely some action and definitely some Wong and She-Hulk going on there. Sorry, spoiler for people who haven't seen it. You've probably seen it by now. But that was the Wong and She-Hulk like battle they had with the interdimensional bat creature thing. That was pretty cool. But before that, it was just feeling like it needed to get to the villain. Like it needed to get to it. It was like more of a pacing for me, but it just didn't really grab me. And I think that's just because it's going based on like the movies too. Like the movies haven't really been something that's been grabbing me and making me like really excited for it. Like the only thing that I'm saying, and I have no problem with She-Hulk as a character or whatever like that, even though the Hulk She-Hulk thing did irritate me at first. But other than that, it was like whatever. The Megan Stallion twerking thing, I was like, the CGI for that was the biggest concern. I didn't care about twerking. I was like, whatever. I was like, whatever about it. But it's just, I don't see any stakes yet. I haven't seen the stakes yet. I don't really, like right now, I can tell where it's going to end. There isn't anything where I'm like, oh, I didn't see that coming. Not yet. But I know it's still ongoing. It's still like, 4 more episodes left? So I am trekking through it. I am not like giving up on it. I haven't sworn off. I'm actually watching it, and I actually liked this last episode. For the most part, there was definitely some stuff I was like, okay. But it's mostly what Marcus said. The writing just hasn't been the best, and I can tell. And I'm not even a film person, but I can tell just by being adjacent to Marcus, I'm starting to pick up on like the writing and stuff like that, and paying more attention to it.
And one more thing before y'all make y'all point is that sometimes that show is very offensive to women with the shit that they be saying in there. Like the whole thing about she got to be She-Hulk just for her to keep her job. She actually has to be the She-Hulk at work for her to work there, which I thought was like outrageous. Like why she couldn't have a job because she a good lawyer. I get it though. I get it.
Yeah, I get the
but
point.
I still think it's like it ain't as bad, but sometimes it's like slick, objectified of women. Just little subtle things. But I talked to one of my good friends. She watched it, and she's like me. She's in that field of film and stuff. And she's the writing's bad, and she's even as a woman, I don't like it because it just don't hit for me. So it's not just us who don't like it, okay?
Yeah,
that's all I gotta say.
And it's not like his thing. It's not like we're disliking it for it's a woman character. Nah, like I don't really. Tell me a good story. That's all I want. Like I don't care. Tell me a good story. Tell me something where I'm interested in and I'm like waiting for the next episode. If the writing ain't up to par, just admit it's not up to par. It's okay. It's fine. It's cool. And also, I will say this, and I always say this: the episode length needs to be increased. I keep saying this. It does. Because we're 4 episodes in and we haven't gotten to the main villain yet. 4 episodes in. If you had a bigger show, episode length, it wouldn't feel like we have to rush to get to the villain. But iron out all his thing in, let's say, 1 episode. And then finish him in the last episode. And also, give us an hour length. If you're going to do these short 8 episodes, give us an hour length. Come on now. An hour length will be perfect. You don't have to rush everything. You can have time for the episodes where nothing happens. You can have those episodes. It's fine. But I'm just like, where's the stakes? Where's the villain? Where's the thing that's gonna push her to challenge her? Yeah. Where's the part where she's getting challenged? Because she hasn't had that yet. And that's fine. But we have 4 more episodes and we haven't gotten to the villain of the show. Or a threat that she's, oh my God, I have to worry about it. But that's just my thing. Yeah, so tell us why you love this show. I'm really curious to hear this because I know one reason.
The way he said it.
I know one reason.
No, it's just, well, I mean, I personally think the show, the biggest thing with me is like when I watched it with Josh, like I came just because of like stuff that I heard about it. I just came in with just this such like dark cloud over it, like, oh gosh, like this thing. And when I watched it, I was just like, okay, it's not bad. And the biggest thing with me is the show is just camp. Like it's super duper campy. And I'm like, it's meant to be. It plays like a old, like sitcom. Like I was telling Marcus, like Ally McBeal or Seinfeld or something. Like it plays like one of those old shows. And it's just like cool. They did that and then put like a Marvel stamp on it and made her things that are important in writing. But my thing is, for the most part, for that show, it doesn't really make a difference for me because she's pretty much like already into the person that she is. You know what I'm saying? It's just not like she has to come to grips with the fact that she's a monster or like this whole like she's already accepted the fact that okay, yeah, I'm Hulk. It is what it is. I don't want that to define me, whatever. I'm still a lawyer and I want to have this kind of job, blah 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 blah, that whole thing. So I'm like, okay, that's cool. It's very surface level in the way they talk about it. And even like some of the little tongue-in-cheek, like misogyny, like her coworker, the way he actually talks to women and stuff like that. Yeah, that's trash. It's just like I said, it's meant to be like flippant, you know what I'm saying? It's just I look at it very surface level. Like when I watch the show, I actually really enjoy it because I'm just like, okay, I know what this is. It's not supposed to be Winter Soldier or something like that.
Yeah.
He was not going to get it from
Yeah.
She-Hulk. And even in the comics, you know what I'm saying? She's that kind of character. You know what I'm saying? It's just she ain't Bruce. Never gonna be Bruce. But you know what I'm saying? She's still over there in her lane. Now, yeah, I feel like the CGI definitely needs some work. But like I was telling Dmitri, I feel like by Secret Wars, you know what I'm saying, they'll get it together and
Yeah,
that'll be
like,
fine.
yeah.
But as for who she is as a character, even some of the offhanded remarks she makes, you know what I'm saying? She's not a perfect character. She's definitely flawed. And I think being flawed is a good trait to make a character seem realistic. So I'm just like, yeah, that's great. I don't agree with everything she says. So it's cool. You know what I'm saying? Some of the jokes in the show aren't too great, but like especially like when she's talking into the camera and reassuring everybody that it's her show and all that kind of
Yeah,
I'm
that
just
thing.
I'm just
That
like,
thing.
bro, I'm like, it is what it is. Like even the first villain, what was her name?
Titania or whatever.
She was a very trash, forgettable villain, but it's just that's just what it was. She was there for a second and then it wasn't. You know what I'm so I just feel like that show, my whole thing, the reason I enjoy it so much is because I just don't take it seriously at all. Like even when like my boys from the Wrecking Crew came in, they were a bunch of bumbling idiots. Like they got their butt whooped. And let's not even talk about the fact that hello, like my boy Thunderball is supposed to be jacked. Like he's supposed to be a big, huge black dude. And that is not what they showed on She-Hulk. So my thing is just, it's not supposed to. I'm glad they got that representation. I'm glad to see my man Thunderball actually get some shine on a show. But at the end of the day, hey, it's camp. Like I said, it's a camp show. That's all it is, and it's extremely surface level. And I just look at it like watching a regular episode of, like I said, Ally McBeal or The Office or something like that. That's literally what I do. I go into it. It's basically almost like background noise. I watch it. I'm like, that was cool, and I just keep it moving. Like I don't really see people are just like. Besides the whole misogynistic thing about here, and here's the thing about that too, like my girl, if you read the comics, like She-Hulk is all over the place. Like my girl, I'm talking about
Yeah.
she's on top of body. She done slept with everybody in the Avengers. So my
Yeah.
thing is, bro, if your problem is that she twerked one time, guess what, buddy?
Jump rope naked in the comic book. So
Exactly.
like,
Like,
yeah, like
we
like
don't
that
care if
ain't-
she twerking with me.
yeah, I don't care. I don't care at all. I was like,
That's how she is. So my thing is like, hey, that's cool. That's not my, like you guys said, that's not my problem either. I don't really have a huge problem outside of the CGI. You know what I'm saying? And the one thing I do think is weird. Why is her hair so tall? Like
that was my thing.
Yeah.
Like she had
Yeah.
the character herself before she turned to She-Hulk. She has nice like short shoulder length hair. So I was confused because when Bruce turns into the Hulk, he keeps whatever hair he has. But when she turns into She-Hulk, She get
Like,
like
get
a
the long-
perfect, like a weave. Like
I was
I'm
about to
talking
say
about
her
all
hair
the way
is
down.
all-
she gets
all
the
the
whole
way up
thing.
here.
She gets the whole. I was just like, all right, that's cool. Hair growth is part of the
And
hero.
that's
That's
what
fine.
I was like, if y'all gonna do it, what's wrong with the way her hair looks? Just keep it at. I actually think that would help the CGI model look even better if you just use her regular hair.
I agree.
Because that is the one problem for me. Because the thing with Bruce and Hulk that I like is the fact that Hulk actually looks exactly like Mark Ruffalo. Like they look the same.
For real.
Yeah, they got green Mark Ruffalo taller.
And you
just what it was.
and you connect those two characters like it's believable. I'm like, yeah, this is the same person. The one thing I just don't connect with is that old girl and She-Hulk are the same person. Like
They look
just strike
totally different.
Yeah,
they
the crazy
strike
part
me as two
about it
different characters.
is in the new episode, like he like looked at her when her uniform. He was like, he kind of looked at her like, "Who are you?" And she was like, "Oh, I'm just me in uniform." He just was not interested anymore. I was like, "Dang." Like
That's
that self-reflection. But no, like I said, I will say I didn't have a problem with the Wrecking Crew. I actually thought that was funny. That was hilarious.
no, it was hilarious.
I had no problem with that. It's a show that I'm just not. It's just, I guess you could say, this is not used to shows being that campy or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm trying.
Well, I am because I watched that Batman with Adam West when I was a kid. So I'm definitely used to.
But it's just, I don't know. I'm still watching it, and I'm continuing watching it because I just want to give it its chance. Obviously, I don't want to write off yet.
I can't promise that. I will try.
He's not even trying. I'm really trying to give it a chance before
I will try.
anything.
I can't make any promises. I will try.
Yeah.
I will say this though. This is like the very last thing I have to say. Just like you said, Chad, you made a great point, by the way, and I respect it. It's a campy show, and I feel like they sold that, but they didn't when they dropped like all the promo for it and like the trailers.
Yes.
And the reason why I say that is because they would throw little subtle stuff in there to make it seem like it was like she would joke here and there. But when you put Daredevil in the trailer and you have all these action scenes and stuff, and you just make it look like, oh yeah, we finna get like some action-packed She-Hulk. So most people get hyped for it. But if you sell it just when Deadpool was coming out, Ryan Reynolds made sure he let everybody know, oh yeah, this is gonna be Deadpool all the way, 100%, just like the comic book. Even with the promo stuff he was doing, like it was Deadpool. If they would have did that with She-Hulk, I think I would have took it a little bit better, even if the writing was bad. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
Yeah. And here's the thing: they had Daredevil flip into a scene. So me being a Daredevil fan or whatever, loving the original stuff, I'm like, okay, there's no way he's gonna be throwing hands with somebody in this show. I'm ready for the hands to be thrown. I've been waiting for the Daredevil. That's what I'm looking for. I want his return, but that's for a whole nother conversation. But
I did like how they threw that joke in there about when they were talking to Abomination and he was talking about Harlem, and then she called Bruce and he was like, yeah, that was a long time ago. Like basically saying, yeah, we know that we changed actors. Okay, we get it. I thought that was
a different person, literally.
That was
I was a completely different person, literally.
Yeah,
I did laugh, and I do think they trying to set up old boy his son in the comic books. I think that's why he's going back to Sakaar. I could be wrong. But that's what
we both could be wrong.
Oh, like I said, it's some golden nuggets there. I will say that. It's some things in there that they got setting up.
I'll say it's like this. I'm not gonna rate it like a 2 out of 10. It's not getting anywhere near that.
Yeah,
but
it's not the worst.
But we're not gonna sit here and I'm not gonna sit here and give it higher than a 7 right now. Like it's resting there. Like it's good.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's a 7.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not one of these people who are like, oh, it's the best thing since sliced bread. I'm not gonna lie to you like that. I'm just not gonna do it to you. But I can't say it's like a 2 out of 10 or it's like unwatchable. You can get through it. It's a thing. It's a show. there's worse movies out there that Marvel and DC have put out that we were just like, yeah, you might as well just skip over that. It's just I'm hoping, let's say, for instance, or for the sake of this thing, that the next 4 episodes, I guess you could pick up a little bit, just a little bit. But other than that, I'll watch it to its conclusion. Like, I don't hate it, but I don't love it. I'm just like, okay, it's a show.
And I feel like the type of show that they made, the type of show. That's why I feel so strongly about it, like I do, because I feel like that's what they were going for, not in the trailers, but in the actual show. Like they weren't trying to make something that somebody's just, oh my god, this is the best thing ever. They just made. I'm trying to think of another show besides like Ally McBeal or whatever.
The damn Harley Quinn show.
True, but with significantly like less like lewdness, I guess you could say.
Yeah, it's more family friendly.
It's more tame. Yeah. So
I guess you could say like Scooby-Doo.
Yeah,
it's a mystery show about crimes.
Perfect.
And stuff, but it doesn't take itself seriously.
Exactly. It don't take it.
I mean, it's like the TV parts of WandaVision, like where it's just a TV show. It's like that. It's like the TV parts of WandaVision. If I can explain it, anything Marvel's done, then that's fine. Don't market it. If the market said don't market it like a action-packed people fighting over here. She-Hulk is gonna be throwing hands. She's gonna be in her what is it, leotard, whatever she wears in the comics. I don't know what to call it, but her suit that she wears in the comics. Don't throw with that kind of aspect for it.
True.
Because I think from the toys, she's supposed to be in that suit, but all I've seen her in is a lawyer suit. So we got some
more episodes left.
That's
so I think
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they probably throw it in towards like a second to last.
I feel like Bruce is gonna make it for her or something.
Yeah.
Bruce gonna come back from where he was at and be like, "Here's the suit."
That'd be kind of weird though.
Or Wakanda's
kind of weird.
Shut up.
Right, it's the car special, man.
I know what I'm saying, Josh.
I was like, why would Bruce do that though?
Yeah, why would? Yeah, I mean, really, why would Bruce or cousin be like, "Hey, here's a costume that's for my cousin"?
I got all the measurements perfect too.
All the way up.
But that same token, though, Tony had all of Peter's measurements. So how did he get that? I don't know.
We ain't asking questions. Let's leave it alone. Let's leave it alone, man. Let's look. We ain't trying to get into that territory.
Just like it did in the.
Here's the thing. I saw TikTok, and this is how explains anything that's weird in comics or in anime. Because comics, because anime. Just say that to anything you say. Oh, how do you know it's measured? Because comics.
Pretty much.
I'm not gonna ask no questions.
Yeah, really. So like, I'm just being extra. But
why does what's his name? I'm gonna throw him Falcon because I can't remember his name. I'm tired. Why does Falcon have a horrible costume? Because comics. There you go.
No, literally, because they took the one from the comics and
literally. That's literally because of comics. Yeah. Literally.
Because they're like, hey, this works good at a cartoon. Let's just do it in real life. Dirt isn't a thing in real life.
Not like comics. They don't get dirty when they fall into a pile of mud. They're white.
I just can't wait to see a battle damage version. This is gonna look like shit. I can't wait to see a battle damage version of that suit.
That one's gonna look bad.
Oh my god.
His little ass visor is gonna be ripped off and shit.
His whole neck thing gonna be halfway gone and whatnot. It's gonna be just this whole neck with no costume. Just the neck down. Wing gonna be over there and
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
What about you,
Ironheart special?
Right.
The thing about the show is, all the time, I do okay with comics. I mostly know She-Hulk from some games. And even in the games, like, she doesn't take herself seriously in those. And I think, people might not, I think people might not like the show because I guess it just doesn't really follow the formula that people are used to. Because if you look at the other Marvel shows or even the movies, they aren't nearly as, I don't know if satirical is the word, but they're not as, I guess I could use campy. They're not as campy.
Any Spider-Man movie.
That new Thor movie is a little campy. Like, that new Thor movie is campy. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like I said, I didn't mind it, but we can't lie and say it wasn't really campy a little bit. So it's not out of their wheelhouse, but it's not something we're used to their show doing. I think that's back because WandaVision did it. So I guess
satire though.
It knew what it was. Like it didn't sell itself as an action movie. We knew it was gonna be.
But that's just the thing though. It's like we use that particular part of WandaVision as a point of reference because we already knew we already knew what we were getting into. It was just like, oh, okay, it's this thing that's probably not gonna last the whole time. and it's fun because it's this whole thing separate from the actual plot. But I guess when people were watching, when people weren't going to watch She-Hulk, they expected something else. Because I don't particularly remember any of the trailers, but I would think that people didn't really expect it to be so lighthearted. But I don't know. But
I think people were expecting her to fight Jamil. I forget her last
Like
name.
within the first 2 episodes.
Yeah, I think they were fighting. I wanted to fight Titan or Jamil. I forget her last name, but the Good Place actress. They thought that was going to be the main villain of the show, and I think people were after the first episode. They were like, "Oh, okay. I don't know what to expect from the show anymore," and that's, I guess, understandable.
She punched the shit out of her.
She did though. She one hit her and it was over. She knocked the taste out of her. She knocked her so much that she's suing her, and then she's gonna be suing her in I guess the next episode for the name of She-Hulk. That's what. Yeah, she got a cease and desist or whatever they call it. When they send you like a, I think they sue you or whatever. They send like a carrier to sue you, like secretly.
They been served.
Yeah, she was like, yeah, she's suing you for the name of She-Hulk, and she was just like, really? I was like, can she do that? But we're gonna find out. I think this is what I think. A lot of fans are obviously, because I've seen a lot of TikToks and stuff on it, and people were wanting the Hulk to get his movie. They were really wanting a Hulk movie, and they were disappointed that the original Hulk movie, the one we got in 2008 with Ed Norton, was canon, because that means we already got a Hulk movie. So they're not gonna do another Hulk movie.
Which I still say was an amazing movie. I don't care what nobody says.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. That movie. I'll fight people on it. But people are thinking, what's his name? The guy, not the Abomination, but the other guy, the one that always has a big head. I forget his name in the comic, but he's supposed to be the leader, right?
I think that's his name.
Yeah, I think he's called the leader or whatever. I'm not too versed on Hulk villains for the most part, but he's supposed to be the main villain of the show, She-Hulk. That's what people are theorizing, which would be cool to bring him back into the thing, like they brought Abomination back. So if they did, that would be pretty cool. But I don't know. We got 4 episodes, and we can pretty sure probably hit anything at this point in time. But I understand them coming from, because people wanted Mark Ruffalo to get his own movie, like everybody did. Like from Endgame on, where everyone was like, "Hey, Mark Ruffalo needs a movie," and so on and so forth. I would love to see a World Breaker whole movie. It would have been cool. Awesome.
No, I thought.
But we're probably not going to get that. Like,
I was like, it ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, we're not getting it, and that's what a lot of fans. Not like I say, I'm whatever about it, because it is what it is. But a lot of fans are kind of mad about that. Which it's up to you if you think that's whatever or not. I'm just like what the fandom is thinking, or the misogynistic fandom is thinking.
No, it's all good points for sure.
Yeah, no, totally. But I like to think I'm a pretty simple guy. The primary reason why I like the show is because I like Hulk. Therefore, I like She-Hulk.
Yeah.
And Josh rewinded that twerking scene 4 or 5 times.
For real.
First of all,
hey man,
no shame.
That is false.
There's no shame
in your game. I was gonna say, no shame in the game.
That is false.
Because we already know Chad went on record and he rewinded that shit a couple times, so it's all good.
I did. I definitely did.
Wow.
Ain't nothing wrong with it. That's all I'm saying. Ain't nothing wrong with it.
But speaking about the twerking scene again, I think it's cool. Like, it's just cool stuff. Like, I understand why they put stuff like that. I think shows in general have always put a splash of pop culture into the script. That's just how it is. Like, it just shows you the sign of it's like the time period in which the show came out.
Yep.
So I get that, but one thing I didn't really like about it was the CGI.
Yeah.
Like, I feel a lot better about She-Hulk if the CGI was a little bit better. But other than that, I think it's cool because I just like She-Hulk and I like Hulk because why wouldn't you like Hulk? The end.
She-Hulk, cool. Like I said, I have no problem with She-Hulk as a character. Like I was excited to watch the show. Like I was like, okay, I'm cool, I'm down, I'm game. I want to watch pretty much every show that they're going to be putting out. I'm watching Echo for sure, and I'm gonna watch the Daredevil show because that's 18 episodes of just Daredevil. So I'm hyped.
You could have said they are coming out with a. I didn't know they were coming out with a new Daredevil show.
Yeah,
one again.
Okay.
He got his yellow and red costume on, so I'm hyped. I'm already ready. I'm here.
Okay.
But yeah,
Was the Netflix Daredevil show good? Like I watched like
yes,
one.
it was amazing.
Great.
And here's the thing: I will go on record saying that the Netflix shows are 100 times better than the Disney shows, and I will die on that hill. Oh, actually, I'll live on the hill because you're not taking me off the hill. So
Even Danny Rand.
oh, okay, all right. That might have soured it a little bit. All right. But here's the thing: the worst Netflix show is first Netflix show is still at the very least on level with a worse DC show, or not DC, but the Disney show. I said it misspoke, but yeah, the DC shows are not good either. So let's say it too. The CW verse.
Like once again, like we said with She-Hulk, like the CW verse, it knows what it is. Like I said, I think the only show that really wanted to be that serious was Arrow, and I'm just like, come on, guys, how dark can we make a guy that?
He was the Batman. He was the Batman of the CW verse, man. He had the deep groggy verse, or he was like, "You failed this city," and that's what he did. He did the whole groggly, "You failed this city," across the bow shot, slide in like Batman kind of thing. He even had a Prometheus in season 5, which was literally he wasn't Jason Todd, but he was a dark, edgier version of him or whatever, like that, who killed people.
Yeah, except for that, like I said, even the DC CW verse, it knows what it is. So I mean,
what it was.
Yeah, like I said, that's the biggest thing. Like all y'all points are valid. It's just that when I watch it, my logic was like I just took it with a grain of salt and just kept it trucking. Like, all right, that's cool.
I think your like bar of like succession for Marvel stuff is so like, all right, that's whatever. You're not like, you don't take it too seriously, or you're not really invested too much.
I won't lie, because that same night I actually went and watched, because I know you guys already did a review on it, but I went and watched Doctor Strange like right after that, and I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, Doctor Strange was good. Yeah, that Raimi get the reins again. You know?
Yeah. When my man said "I love you" in every universe, I was just like, "Oh my god!" Like, I almost cried, bro. I was like, "Dang, bro!" I'm like, that's crazy. So, and I even felt bad for Wanda. I was like, oh, so yeah, that was crazy. And then I love that completely changed my view of America. Like I love her now.
Agreed. It definitely changed my view on her, because I didn't really know much about her besides what I've heard about her. You know what I mean? Like you hear from other people talk about her, and then I went in with fresh eyes to the movie, whatever. And Marvel's always has been able to take other characters and make them good and better. So I was like, oh, why not? And I was like, okay, she's cool. I can mess with this. That's fine.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. And now I was training her and stuff. I'm like, okay, I can dig it. So yeah, I think all that stuff is definitely cool. But one of the major, like the last topics I wanted to dive into tonight, because me and Joshua had like a really good chat about this. It was about like a couple of weeks ago. I don't know how we got on the topic, but we were talking about what makes like manga and what makes an anime like versus like Western cartoons. Because of course you could talk about region, right?
The obvious choice, right?
But these things have a style, you know what I'm saying? And my argument was like, what makes is Code Lyoko an anime? Like, is Steven Universe an anime? Is of course Boondocks, Avatar, The Last Airbender. So I just wanted to get you guys' take on what truly makes an anime and what makes Western cartoons different from that.
It depends on, for me, I guess one of the points I can add, but it depends on if we're considering anime-inspired things as anime, meaning it was inspired by or was taken by that, and it was, because then you could consider Avatar an anime, because it was inspired by the Japanese animation, stuff like that. So are we considering anime-inspired things? Because if you're considering anime-inspired things, then sure, I would say Boondocks is anime-inspired, so it's an anime. Or Code Lyoko is an anime, because it's just from, I think it's French. It's from French. So it's just their take on, or their inspiration. It's them being inspired by Japanese animation. So So I would consider them, I guess you could say, honorary anime. I wouldn't like they're in their
Would
own
you
little
follow
bubble.
the anime? Just because it has that? Because here's my thing. Because
Okay, all right.
anime has a vibe,
Yeah, that's
right?
great.
Does not have.
Okay, here's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, I'll have to change my opinion a little bit. You gave me a little nugget there. Okay.
That's
sure.
why it's a good argument.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because anime, when you have anime, it's definitely, if we're talking, what kind of cartoons are we talking? Are we talking about just standard like Looney Tunes? Are we talking like Steven Universe? Where's our? Because those are two different things. Because Looney Tunes doesn't really have a story, so I wouldn't consider it like anime. Because there's a story, but it's not like anime. Like Full Metal Alchemist, for instance, it has a deep philosophical story to it. There's philosophy there.
Sure.
Looney Tunes, you can make some philosophy out of it, but Full Metal Alchemist, it's like you have to turn off your brain to not get the philosophy. It's so in your face. Looney Tunes, you're like, the Roadrunner it could be this or whatever. You gotta like really like English teacher this thing.
Bro, what do you mean? Looney Tunes has like the deepest lore of any anime.
No,
what are you talking about?
What I'm saying is like.
Remember they tried to do that? They tried to make it like a serious Looney Tunes where they had like
they really did. That failed so bad.
Really bad.
What I mean is like it's I don't explain.
So
it's
a
weird.
Story-driven cartoon to you, because once again we're still talking about different things.
Still talking about different things. And if Steven Universe, I guess I don't know. I haven't watched Steven Universe, so I don't have a reference for that one.
Steven Universe.
Why? You know
Steven Universe is definitely an anime to me. I feel like
Are we considering like Adventure Time? Because Adventure Time's in the same a regular show. Adventure Time, those are in the same era.
I think those fall more under cartoons.
Okay.
Because I'll say it like this. Because I remember I wrote a paper, I think in college, about the history of animation, and it was talking about the difference between like Western animation and art here in the States, and how Japanese like animators were more stylized and like they had more detail and more action, and they like their animation, like they had stuff like a Bugs Bunny type of character, but most of it was like more serious, story driven. They built arts. Like their first big anime character that was like global was Astro Boy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I don't think America really got hip to all of that until they, just like what they did with Power Rangers, they discovered it and then they tried to do their version of it. So that's why I think we have so many shows that are almost similar to like the anime style, but it don't fall under anime because it's more influenced than it is anime as far as like story, character design, certain arcs and stuff. Because even though, like we said, like the example that I use, Boondocks, even though we say it's definitely influenced by anime, the story arcs don't really, sometimes they don't have anything to do with the next episode, or they might break out in a fight and it's like a whole anime style fight, but then they go and crack like 50 jokes and go and do something crazy after that. So I think most of it is more like influential than it is like actual anime. Now, when it comes to stuff like Steven Universe, the reason I say it leans more towards anime because it really nods to, like, even with Teen Titans, original, not the Teen Titans Go, but the first, even with that, the way they drew the style of it, and the fact that the opening theme song was sung by a Japanese artist, I really think that was one of the best Americanized animes that we just produced here in America. And then that's why I say Steven Universe is the same, because they go to the point where they even hit it in the show with certain stuff, certain things they do, and like character designs and like the eyes and stuff. It's definitely going back to that classic Astro Boy, but like a more modern version style how they drew the character. So that's it. Like you say, it's most of these guys are like us. They grew up watching anime, and they just drawing these characters the way based on what they grew up off of. But it's a tough
question
though.
Like so what you're saying, Marcus, is like, are you so what you're considering is certain anime inspired things. If it's episodic, meaning it's like continuing from one episode and things all tied together like an arc,
Yeah.
then it's an
I think
anime. But if it's just like Boondocks, which doesn't have anything to do with next episode or whatever like that, then it's not an anime, even though it's inspired.
Yeah, because like with Craig of the Creek, that's another good example because they play in the creek and it's a girl in the creek that's literally based off of Sailor Moon and all those female anime characters. She has like a little wand, and when she's playing and she does something, it does the whole effect. Like when she's swirling, and they even go to the as far as like to make it look like anime style. But then when it goes to show what she's actually doing, it's just her regular like playing in a creek. So that's what I mean when I say it's more. I think it's more influential in American cartoons than it is actually American anime. But I do think it's a category of American animes because when I say that, they were produced here in America and made here. They could definitely follow under that, like Avatar, Teen Titans, Steven Universe. We could argue that Code Lyoko. That definitely is an argument that could fall under that. So it's always been influential because even in Dexter's Lab, he had the thing where he had like a suit and it was like Gundam Wing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's very hard to try to say put them in a category. It's hard. That's always been a hard topic. Cause I tried to be crazy enough to draw the line in college, and I about drove myself crazy with that paper. So it's tough. Hard.
It's tough because you can't really say cartoons and anime are the same thing. Like if you do that, it's like it's not. They're both animation, so it's whatever.
They're both cartoons.
It's not the same. You know what I mean? Like there's definitely a difference in them, and there should be a distinction between the two.
You look at. Oh, go ahead, Josh.
Oh yeah, I would say like you say. Okay, so you guys consider cartoons and anime separate things, but anime, you still consider it cartoons, right?
I don't know.
Because anime, because
cartoons,
anime,
but like I don't know.
Because with anime and cartoons, it's the same. You make a cartoon the same way you make anime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I think the bad thing about American cartoons is that it doesn't have a name that separates it from the idea of it being a
argument.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah. Because if you look at something like, I'll give it to you straight like this. What's the animation style difference between Scooby-Doo and Speed Racer?
Not at all.
There's not. Yeah.
And to the layman, like I remember I was at work one day and we were talking about anime. And I posted Speed Racer, and everybody was like, "Speed Racer? That's a cartoon. That ain't no anime. What are you talking about?" I had no idea.
And that, my bad. Go ahead.
What's up?
No, I was saying just to add to that. That's exactly what I was saying. Those early 60s, like anime, they really do look more like cartoons because I really think we always played off of each. That's the thing. Like.
Where does that line become blurred when we say, okay, this is this, and that's my argument. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of
what you're saying.
A lot of the manga, for example, research manga said he grew up reading like Batman and watching anime series and stuff like that, and that's where he got inspiration for that. And you can see it. That whole like his like suit thing is like Batman inspired the heck. It's back and forth inspiration between the two of them. But I think I agree with you guys. I think that's the case. But should the square? No, I don't think we should come up with a term for cartoons. Like we're not gonna do that today. But I think there should be a different. I mean, I guess you can say American cartoons and then.
Well, that's the thing. It's simple. It's really as simple as we talking about these cartoons and I'm mentioning them, but you see what's behind me. It's crazy because we saying all this and it don't say Cartoon Anime Network. It just says Cartoon Network. But then. If you go like over somewhere else, Japan, I don't know. I could be wrong, but it might. I'm saying they don't have Cartoon Network, but you might see anime more than you. I don't know though. You might see cartoons.
Well, you just made a good point.
Cartoon a lot.
You just made a good point, Marcus, because like we got what? Okay, I'll even ask you guys here. What do we before we got, you know what I'm saying, any kind of Crunchyroll, any of that. What did we use?
Oh, it's
Not
which came on Cartoon Network.
I mean, right, which came on Cartoon
Swim.
Network.
And
Which
it
means
still had the
they're
word tune in it.
Yeah.
Thank
It
you.
still had the word tune in it. Yeah, so
it's just
Yeah.
it's literally Japanese version of cartoon.
I honestly think that's
Like the
what
Ja-
it is. It's a
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
Japanese
And I
version
mean-
of cartoons, and you can't really say like which one came first because that's just like with music. It comes at different spurs. Everything plays off of one another. We can't say we came out with animation first or them. I really think, what's the word I'm trying to use? Come on, come back to. I don't want to say media, but I think that's who really like made the difference between the two. Cause like y'all saying, I really don't. Now that I think about it, a cartoon could be an anime, and an anime can be a cartoon.
Yeah. I just always.
But
Yeah,
you know
I
what?
always thought it
You
was
want to know
weird.
something crazy, y'all?
You said what?
Like, nah, you want to know something crazy? I just looked up that anime, the American cartoons in Japan are called anime because anime is just a Japanese term for animation.
Animation, yeah.
It's
all
where
the
the word
same.
animation
synonymous.
It's just
All the same.
It's
all
synonymous with the
SpongeBob
same
is
thing.
anime.
Okay, so
SpongeBob is anime.
Yeah.
SpongeBob
is
should be
anime.
anime because it's just it's pretty much anime and localization. Like we came to it in the first, like we first talked about. Oh my god, the whole conversation
Yeah.
about it being localization. We can't use that as an easy excuse, but it's localization because
it
if
definitely
it's
is.
here, it's cartoons. But if it's there, it's all anime. Even if it's SpongeBob.
But that's the crazy
Mhm.
thing. That's the crazy thing, Dmitri. What do they call it here too? They call it anime
They do.
and cartoon.
They just don't make
That's
that
what.
distinction. We do.
Yeah, that's
Right.
where it gets crazy because we actually separated. And just like everything
Right.
in America, when something's coming from like another country, we don't put it in the same category. We
Yeah.
go and put titles on it
Segregated.
and and labels.
Segregated.
Just like with Power Rangers, right?
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
They went and took it from the Super Sentai, came over
Mhm.
here, and then they said, "Oh, we're gonna label this a superhero show."
Power Rangers.
But it came from something totally
Mhm.
different. Then on top of that, they just totally took it and put their own stuff in it and just made their own thing
Mhm.
about it. You know what I'm saying? So they actually had the nerve to take two things that are the same in Japan and actually separate them, but then go make something like Teen Titans that's damn show based off anime and call it a cartoon. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think the problem is the people from these studios and who was running this stuff, and they instilled it in our minds as children.
What
And
did they
now
market?
with the marketing, and now we finally thinking, but why? They both cartoons.
And to actually say the American version of or the Japanese version of, as if they're two different processes.
It's the same process.
It's wild.
They literally go through the same thing to make it. It's
The
nothing
same
different.
process, yeah.
Right.
Nothing
The
different.
only difference
I
is
mean,
slight animation.
I don't want to.
Like slight,
Yeah.
the slight penciling work of something else. Which is not even. Let's take it back. It's not even that because cartoons have different styles in general, so it's not even that. It's just literally what you guys said. I was gonna kind of give a leeway, but no, it's not even that. It's like cartoons are drawn differently in America and they're drawn differently in Japan and the French cartoons, which is Kodayoko, and it's just in different regions they call the same thing something or a different thing. We do.
Yeah, that's all.
Just like
The
I
Japanese
guarantee
say
you-
it is Japanese. They're like,
I guarantee you, they don't call a comic book in Japan and a manga different things. I guarantee you the same thing.
It probably
That was
doesn't.
like-
it
Oh,
is
so
probably-
you
don't call it the same thing.
it probably is. It might actually be.
Because if they consider SpongeBob over there an anime, then they consider Superman over there a manga
Exactly.
character.
Exactly. It's like
Basically,
I hate
Yeah.
I hate to make it sound like I don't like what America or something, but we do unnecessary
Unnecessary.
things sometimes with stuff that doesn't
Yeah.
have to happen. Like,
Categorize
and it
things that don't
confuses
need to be
Yeah,
Because
categorized.
look at us now. We grown men, and now we feel like all this time we've been trying to split the two, and we really didn't have to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
all it took was a simple Google search. All it took was a
You know
simple
what I'm
Google
saying?
search.
And then even when you
Like, yo.
when you look up, like you said, Josh, I looked it up too. It even says, and it's geared towards audiences from the age range of children to adults.
Yep.
That's damn sure what cartoons are. So it's like
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think here's the thing. I think I know kind of why some people differentiate them. It's because I think some people are like anime is more mature, this, that, the other. So that's why it's anime and cartoons they're not. You know what I'm saying? That you know what I'm saying? You've heard
and
that
it's
argument,
crazy.
though,
It's
right?
crazy that
You've
somebody
heard
would
that.
say that because
Mhm.
cartoons are just as mature, like you just said, regular show.
Yeah.
Even the ones that we watched as kids, they still made them cartoons were pretty damn mature. Like you rarely gonna get cartoons on that level that's like kids. That's not for that's just for kids and not for adults. Like nowadays, it's like very common. But then that's why you have the Adult Swim, where you get that kind of, and that's why they put anime on there at first, because the reason why they put anime on Adult Swim is because parents in America thought it was too violent for their children to watch. But that's because they were showing like the Cowboy Bebop, Give Me Another Gundam Wing, Big Old, all of those that's driven like action, violence, a little bit of guns and sex, all that kind of stuff. So of course, I think that's where they start like drawing the line with it, and then they probably just said, "Oh, that looks like that thing that my child was watching, that anime stuff." When it's not, it just be simple things like that, and it's almost like you brainwashed to think that's what it is, and then when you finally wake up, you're like, "Oh, you know what? It's all a damn cartoon."
Right.
But here's the thing.
Oh, go ahead.
Here's the thing. Looney Tunes was just as bad as a lot of those shows on Adult Swim. Like I tell you right now, one of my favorite skits is when Bugs Bunny shoots a guy in the crowd because he's coughing over his big thing, and that's adult as crap.
Exactly.
You can't get your kid watch Cowboy, but you let them watch Looney Tunes air somebody out. It's like.
For real. I'm telling you, bro, for real. It's just wild when you think about it. And then it gets even stranger when you realize that a lot of these shows that are made from people in Japan were made to appeal to an American perspective. Like I said, they were made on the heels of Akira.
Yeah.
When they figured out that, oh wow, this stuff has crazy crossover ability, then you start to get a lot of these cartoons that take on more of a serious tone because it appeals to not only kids in Japan, but kids in America, and it has crazy. So that's why you get Cowboy Bebop, which was stated that they made that for Americans. It was made for, and there's so many, like Full Metal Alchemist, for example. Like I said, made about 2 German boys. None of that has anything to do with anything in Japan
at all.
Like so same with you, Dmitri. All those pirates and all that stuff. Like I said,
Luffy's from Brazil. If he was in real life, he's from Brazil. Like crazy. Like I guess it's just people wanted to make a difference between them because they wanted to believe that cartoons were just dumb things you told your kids or whatever. And I think here's the thing. I really think it's like the idea of like some of these people that are like older people that look at us watching anime and cartoons and that's for kids, and that kind of mentality that seeped in and whatever like that. And us going, well, anime has us defending anime because it's definitely centered, I guess centered for both kids and for adults. So a lot of people felt like they had to defend anime and make a separation, like, oh, this is for adults. You can't show this thing to a kid. Like they were really trying. I've seen plenty of videos of like anime is not for kids or whatever, and they show like a bloody scene or whatever, and that's like the thing. And I think that's because you have to defend. They felt like they really had to defend it.
Exactly.
And make that separation.
And then you get Pokemon. No, seriously, that's why you start getting stuff like that,
that's
man.
True. That's true. And
like we've been watching anime since we could.
Whole life,
But people have just been putting in our minds that it's a difference between the two.
Bugs Bunny is an anime character.
Literally. Like
he's animated.
I would say something controversial on the podcast. Bugs Bunny can solo any anime character. Let's do it.
He can. He actually can because he can't die.
Undefeated. I was like, he undefeated.
Let's do this thing because everybody says Goku solos. I'm saying Bugs Bunny solos. Ed from Ed Nerdy solos. Let's just start putting putting cartoon characters against anime characters because they all in the same verse. So why not?
Ed was on that weird shit. He was eating beds and stuff, man.
Ed would throw a trailer park at you and
running through houses and shit.
I'm telling you.
lifting up grass and rolling at you and stuff. Like that was on some other stuff.
I'm telling you.
For real. Or here's another crazy take. Superman comic. Superman is a Superman comic in Japan is manga,
Yeah.
and the Superman show in Japan makes Superman an anime character.
Yeah,
and
literally.
I guess you could say One Piece is a comic book.
Man, it's us. It's us. I hate to say it, but it's us. We do that with everything. We do that with everything.
Yeah.
It's not just with this. It's with everything.
It's with everything, but
it really complicates stuff way more than it should be. Like,
so we all going on the record to squashing the 100-year blood feud between cartoon characters and the anime characters and say they're all in the same verse.
No difference.
And
no difference at all.
Cartoon equals anime. Done.
Y'all
pretty
can't
much.
say I don't watch anime no more. Then boom.
Yeah, we can't though. We can't. We might drop. You got us. Yeah, you can't.
Hold on, this is anime. Pin drop.
Oh, yeah, come on, guys.
Pin drop.
I'm telling you.
Nah.
That's it.
We can't say that no more. You can't. People can't say they don't watch cartoons anymore.
Exactly.
Everybody watches.
Or hey, and all the people say, "Well, I grew up on Bugs Bunny. I never watched an anime." Like, what you did now, mother.
You literally have Bob's Burgers. Bob's Burgers is totally an anime.
Family Guy is an anime, guys. You guys are
The Simpsons is an anime.
You're part of the big family.
The Simpsons is the longest running anime in America. So,
yeah. You're right about that.
No,
Yeah.
what y'all want to do? What y'all want to do about it? Fight us.
Come at us.
No, don't fight us.
Right.
Kidding, guys.
The comment section will be lit on this one.
No, the comment section is gonna be like super lit.
Oh no.
Title of the video: Cartoons is anime.
Oh.
Basically, and that's it. That's the biggest thing I'm trying to
is.
bring home is that it's no difference. It's the same thing. Like me and Joshua were having because I think Joshua was more on the side that it's the same thing, and I was arguing no, it's completely different. And like I was thinking about some of Joshua's points, I was like, he was right.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's the same.
Yeah.
Thing. So I'm just
when
like,
I tried. Here's the thing. I knew it was the same thing when I tried to come up with a different, and I was like, I can't even do it. Like I was trying to come up, and I always had this thing, and I was like, nah.
It's like saying the blues and rock and roll is not this. It's two different things.
Yeah.
And it's literally the same music. It's the same music at a different tempo, but it's still classified as the same thing.
Yep.
So we do that crap. We categorize different things just by a variable little difference. We'll be like, oh, this is different than this.
Just like it'd be simple shit like this that people do here. They'll say, oh, we have 3 Spider-Man. But instead of saying they're all Spider-Man, we have a black Spider-Man, a white Spider-Man, and
Hispanic Spider-Man.
Hispanic. No, they're just all
Spider-Man.
Right?
It'd be simple shit like that. And they just make it hard for everybody.
Or they just call like, of course, Miles Spider-Man. They don't even call him Spider-Man. They just call him Miles Morales.
Miles Morales.
Miles Morales Spider-Man. Peter Parker Spider-Man.
He's just Miles.
Spider. You know,
right?
Well, Spider-Man,
they call him Spidey, dude. They don't call him Spider-Man. They call him Spidey.
Oh, not Spidey. We ain't bringing up Batman. Spidey. No way.
They give a variation to something. We're just like, yeah, that's definitely different.
Yeah,
good on that.
Yeah, basically, it's just like I guess it's just an American thing, like with Kamen Riders, like all the Kamen Riders, like before you say any of their names, you say Kamen Rider, blah blah blah, Kamen Rider, blah blah blah. They're all Kamen Riders.
Yeah.
But with Power Rangers, that's the Black Ranger, and that's the White Ranger, and that's
they're the Mighty Morphin. They're the Lost Galaxy.
All them, they Power Rangers. They don't know what they're saying. Dino, Super Sentai. Space Super, they all them in Super Sentai. That's what they are.
Super Sentai, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Nah, we be tripping sometimes.
It's kind of sad. It's kind of messed up though.
That's
I'm gonna make sure to it that my kids don't have to go through it. It's kind of depressing.
We ain't letting that go on. We're gonna be like,
yeah.
Because here's the crazy part about it. Until somebody told me Pokemon was an anime, I thought it was a cartoon. They came on WB with all the Until somebody was like, "No, that's an anime." I'm like, "Nah, I came on WB, bro. Like the Warner Brothers.
Bitch
Like,
like,
I ain't hearing
bro.
that. Like, Digimon, I was like, oh yeah, that's an anime. I get that. It's on a whole different.
that's a
It's on a whole
cartoon.
different. No, wait, next thing about. I thought that was a cartoon too because it came on Fox. So yeah, I thought that was thought they were both the same thing. I was like, okay. I was like, damn, Pikachu looking different in this show.
Hey man, it's all. And the crazy part is though, like we keep saying, the damn word is in it. Animation.
Yeah,
That is so
It's
for
right
sure.
there.
It's,
crazy. Like,
it's the same thing.
Yeah,
all the same.
I think I think we just got sucked up in all the Discord, and we just thought, oh, it's a difference because they say it's a difference.
definitely.
And never really questioned it, never really gave it any too much thought because we were like cartoons, and I guess we really didn't look into the cartoons that we watched as kids like that deeply. And we were like, well, cartoons are always goofy and there's nothing to them or whatever like that. And then you think of anime, like I know Full Metal Alchemist. Fuck. Like they lost their parents for it. She lost you.
I mean, everybody's
yeah, I lost it by now. You should have done. But they had to try to bring back their parents or whatever. And it was dark. People were like, that's anime. That's not mentioning Pokemon. Like Pokemon, I take it back. Pokemon was a little dark. Pokemon first movie was that was a little dark. I ain't gonna.
It was definitely dark, but I argue that a lot of American shows do have dark moments. Like I said, there's plenty of dark moments there in American animation and in Japanese animation. Like, bro, your favorite show is One Piece. One Piece is goofy as hell, bro.
Here's the crazy part about it. One Piece is a mixture of goofy and dark, and I love it. It's a combo play. You get your fun loving moments, and you get your moments where you're like, you're in your field. You're very in like a ham.
It's true. And then whenever somebody, no, it's good. But whenever somebody brings the argument up, just say JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and call it a day, bro.
Yes. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is the perfect example.
That's all you gotta say.
Here's the great part. It's messed up and there's some messed up, but they play it with such a like goofy like undertone. Like Dio will vampire somebody else, but it'll be so like goofy that you're like, I'm not even really afraid of that. It's Dio. He's doing this like he's doing it like his walk or whatever. You know what I'm saying? He's doing that exaggerated walk, and you're like, he's a film of the show, but I don't take him like a threat unless obviously.
I don't take him seriously.
I don't take you seriously. You're sitting there doing this pose like this or whatever, like you're a fashion model for Gucci or something. I don't know, some fashion company. So
it's like we keep saying, it's hard to really like when you talk when you try to have the argument. Okay, what makes an anime and what makes an American cartoon? When we really deep dive into it and keep having these conversations about it, and we keep comparing, we keep seeing that it all blurs into the same lines. There are no concrete differences.
Here's the crazy thing. Scooby-Doo is even dark. I am literally wearing the darkest Scooby-Doo movie ever on my shirt. It was dark as crap.
When it was in
Louisiana.
Yeah, like come on now. So, like,
my grandma said I couldn't watch that movie, and I watched it anyway.
So we can't even say Scooby-Doo is not dark or good. It doesn't have the dark moments because it did. They pushed the boundaries and was like, yeah, we're gonna give you a scary movie where they actually are real like creatures. It ain't a man in a mask. It's the cat creature.
Y'all wanna hear this though? I'm finna drop like a tight bar on y'all. So I looked up where the word cartoon derived from.
Okay.
And it's literally from the Italian word. It's like cartone, like CARTONE, but it's probably said cartoon there. I'm probably saying it wrong. Mm-hmm. But it simply means a large sheet of paper or card.
Okay.
So I guess because they drew it on paper, they came up with cartoon. So, that is like, you see what I'm saying?
So
like
even in
the word that came, it didn't even come from here. Yeah.
It just means the paper you draw the animation on.
So
what does that make it? Well, hold on. And what does that make it? There you go.
So even in the root word, you can't differentiate or separate them. It's not like it derived from whatever word and then it became anime, and then the other way was like cartoon. It was literally from the beginning, and it brought down. It was animation, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna call it short for." We're not gonna say the long word anime or animation. We're gonna say anime. We're gonna shorten that thing. Maybe tweet right to the point.
Well, that being said, cartoon, anime, Same thing.
Same thing. If you want to come at us in the comments and say you have an interesting take or you can debate us, we're interested in that. But I don't think you can.
Nah.
So I welcome the challenge, though.
Yeah, I don't think this is a winnable argument.
Nah.
It ain't no loophole.
There ain't no loopholes, nothing. Like
Nah, like it's all the same. Like it's manga. The manga and comics are the same.
Yeah, it's done panels. It's panels.
It's
It's
just
drawn the same
it's
way.
literally just a different style of, let's say, a comic book or whatever, or a different style of a manga. Like it's not even it's. And here's the crazy part: is like in American cartoons, it's not like every cartoon looks the same. Especially nowadays, the cartoons nowadays have a whole different style. You know? But they're still considered cartoons. You know what I mean? And the anime has goofy, derpy Pokemon animation, cartoon drawings, and then they have One Piece and Full Metal and Gundam. They have a variety. So
Right.
Exactly.
even when you go that way, you can't even
You
win
just
that.
can't win.
Like you can't. I will say this: I am okay with admitting that it's the same thing because I cannot fight against it. It is over. There is no argument. The debate is done. The debate is done. You can't come at it. You might as well. If anybody on the road says, "Oh, I would never watch anime," guess what, motherfucker? You already watched one.
Hey.
Already what?
Yeah. Basically, and then one more thing for y'all. One more fact. Manga is actually the Japanese word for comics made in Japan.
Boom.
There you go.
Well,
There
That's
you
what I'm
go.
saying. Like, okay, like even like with this. Oh dang, the light is missing.
There you go.
You see this?
Yeah.
I drew two of the same people in different styles. What does that make it a different?
no, it's
Anything different?
Nope.
No.
same thing.
It's the same.
The grand scheme of things, you could name it something different, but it's still a cartoon or animation. Like you could call it whatever you wanted to call it, but I would still like it's a or it's a comic book, or it's becoming a comic book, or it's a whatever.
You know what? I will say this. I enjoyed this because I feel like this is therapy. I feel like this is something we need to get off of our chest for years.
Put that to rest for finally. It's something we always had on our thing. We're just like we finally got to the peaceful moment. Now we're just like, if anybody's, oh, I don't watch the anime. I'm like, you already did, dude. You watched Looney Tunes when you were a kid. You're part of us now. You can't come out.
You're in the club whether you want to be.
You are not.
Right.
You go back in time and tell your parents not to turn on the TV while she tell you watch cartoons. Then you won't be a part of it. But
Nope.
you can't go back there.
Yeah,
You
it's
can't
like
be part of it.
basically it's like
So you were already in
Family Guy.
anime before you even thought you were in anime.
Exactly. If you watch Family Guy or Bob's Burgers or American Dad, you watch anime.
Exactly.
And if you watch Full Metal Alchemist 1 or Gundam, you watch the cartoon.
You watching some cartoons, homie.
Exactly. So I'm glad that we definitely got that argument settled. And for anybody that wants to talk about us, bring it to the chat and we'll explain it all over for you guys again.
Here's the thing. It's crazy.
That's why it's called the square round table. We come amongst each other and we discuss things in a well manner.
Yes. Here's the crazy part about it. We tried to be against it.
We did. Look at where we
I
at.
was completely against it.
I was like, I was gonna try to argue it. And then I couldn't.
So let's just give Josh his flowers,
just
man.
wrong.
We gotta
Yeah.
flowers on
Oh
this.
yeah,
You got it, dude. Yeah, it's all you.
We got to.
It's all you, man. You got it. You got him.
Definitely this.
They're yours because you brought the conversation. You knew what the fuck you were talking about, and you're like, I ain't losing this shit.
No, for real. I was definitely wrong about that one for sure.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, and I'm okay with being wrong. That's the crazy part about it. I ain't even mad about it. I'm gonna go to sleep and have a therapeutic dream and be like, hey man, I ain't gotta fight my demons.
I'm telling you, fight is over. They can't hurt you anymore.
It can't get you no more. It's gone, bro. There's nothing underneath your bed, bro. It's gone.
This makes sense.
It really does. Like,
no, it does.
like when you lay it out, you can't not say it anymore. You can't be like, it's different. And you're like, well, how? And you're like, you just blank stare face. It's like, I can't.
You just can't make it. Like I said, you just literally can't make an argument. The only difference is it's just regional. There's no Japanese version of cartoons. There's no French version of cartoons. All of it is just a cartoon. Like at the end of the day, and by that same token, all of it is just an anime at the end of the day. So there you go.
they're all synonymous
Mhm.
with each other. Whatever you call it in whatever different language, it's all synonymous with cartoons or synonymous with anime or whatever the French word for
I was about to say, I don't
their
know what that
animation.
is, but
Yeah, I was like brought up like I was like, do I know that? And I'm like, no, I don't.
no, I was
I'm sorry,
about
French viewers, man. I'm sorry, I don't know the
to
correct terminology, but no
At
offense.
all.
Yeah, I do not at all. But the last thing I definitely want to just cover before we get out of here, guys, just a little something for our viewers and listeners out there, because we all definitely big hip hop fans, man. I just want to know, like, what's some of the things that you guys are listening to right now, just to let everybody know some songs that they could be downloading or some new artists out there. I know personally, I've been listening to JID a lot lately. Just a quick
Don't mind.
roundtable before we head out. You know, what y'all been vibing to?
I was gonna say JID, but my boy stole that from me. I listened to what is
Oh,
I
okay, that's
listened
why I
to
said
I listened to Dance Now, because I think that's what it's called. Then yeah,
Dance Now is my
that's a
shit.
good ass song.
Yeah.
That's a great song. The lyrics
Mhm.
and that thing, and like how he has, I think he has like multiple meanings for the same thing in his like verses. Because I watched a video and they like did a dissection on it, and he was like pretty much referring in his lyrics to literally the title of the song. But it was in there to where you'd have to piece it together, and I was like, "That's really cool." Obviously, J. Cole. You know, Kendrick's new album. I love that. That Kendrick. If you haven't listened to it, pick that up and give it a little. That's good.
Yeah, that Big Steppers is something
Yeah,
nice.
but those mine.
Okay. What about you?
Yeah, definitely the whole Forever Story album by JID. It's all amazing.
Yes, yes.
Gemini Rights by Steve Lacy.
I still
Such a
got
good album.
Okay.
Yeah, it's such a good album. And of course Logic's new album.
Vinyl Days, yes, sir.
Yeah,
Final Days.
and
Yeah, I don't know that was a.
and Vince Staples' new album, Ramona Park.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's all vibes. Like every song, like no skips. Not like if I can just get like a vibe tattooed, like I would, but this is no skips.
Yeah, no skip. That's a good
Okay.
album.
Yeah.
How about you, Marcus? You were like the hip hop head of the
Yeah.
That was crazy. I've been like a real like R&B tip right now. I still been listening to my hip hop, but I've been listening to a lot of R&B, like new artists, old artists. But as far as hip hop, the last couple things was like J. Cole, Kendrick. My brother and them got me listening. I've heard some of the new JID, but Dimitri's the one who put me on to him. When I did that little short little reel I did. So and then he represent from what side of town I'm from, the east side, you know what I'm saying? So,
Yes, sir.
he's showing love. But yeah, like I said, I've been as far as hip hop is that, but really I've been listening to a lot of Nas.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, a lot of like early Nas, like when he was featured on songs, and then Illmatic, and it was all written and all that. So, like I said, I've been real on my R&B thing. A lot of Frank Ocean, her, Ella May, Ari Lennox.
Okay.
What's my boy, Sir? Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been just chilling with the vibe.
What about Kalani, bro?
Oh, how can I forget Kalani? Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course, Kalani. I love Kalani.
Man, yeah, definitely. Like people.
Oh,
yeah.
hold on, my bad. And I can't forget my girl Jasmine Sullivan too. Yes.
Oh, Jasmine Sullivan, for real. For real.
Yes, I'm sorry.
People been giving a lot of hate to my girl because I'm a huge advocate for Lonnie and Summer Walker, and folks be giving them so much hate. I'd be like, look,
I swear.
like I know they covered in tattoos, you know what I'm saying? I know they make
great music.
They make great. I know Summer Walker might not be the easiest person to get along with, but her music is dope.
The music is good, but it's crazy because they'll say that and then turn around and be like, "Oh, Sis is just the greatest R&B singer right now," and she's make the same damn song that they make. Talking about
that
same thing.
It be killing me, but I'm like you right now, Mark, because I listen to a lot of the same stuff. Like Joshua, he put me on because he put me on to listening to JID's new album, and he told me about Ramona Park with Vince Staples. Other than that, like I just a couple of the projects I picked up for any of our viewers that likes to collect vinyls and stuff. I recently picked up the first mixtape. They got it on a lot of websites right now. DiCaprio 1.
Oh, this
You
is
said what?
the other one. I think it's called DiCaprio too. Like he has
Yeah,
another.
he's got. I got both.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, hold on.
The second one I like that. I like that one a bit more, but they're both good. Like they both hit.
Yeah, this is it right here.
Man got the vinyls out on us. He was like, "Let me show you what my money is like right now."
I can see a little bit of it.
I see it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I see it.
Yeah.
Kind of around a little bit, but yeah, that's JID DiCaprio 1, and then I've been listening to. I just recently picked up talking about going back to anime a little bit. It is, I think it's Fat John and the Nujabes, the Samurai Champloo soundtrack. I just picked that up.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Since we flexing for weight around here,
a whole lot of money. It was pretty expensive, but yeah.
Oh, I bet you did. Yeah, I know you did on that.
Yeah, that thing was pretty expensive.
It's funny that you say that because I have a playlist on my phone, and my picture for it is that picture from that anime is where he holding the sword, and it's like the sunset.
Yeah,
in the background.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because like the people that's on this playlist are like LMA, SZA, Muni Long, John Legend, Frank Ocean. Oh, I've been on this dude. I don't know how I missed him, but I'm probably gonna say his last name wrong as hell. But it's Michael Kawanuka. This dude is cold, man. Y'all got all our viewers out there. If you ain't heard of him, you gotta listen to him, man. And then Muni Long has a song with John Legend called "Honey." I want to say I've been on my R&B tip lately. Yeah,
okay.
We'll definitely put a lot of those songs in the description below for all of our viewers and listeners out there. And one more question, because this has been bugging me. Like, I don't know if Dmitri and Marcus, definitely you guys too, because y'all are big on hip hop. I was reading a post the other day, and it was saying, and I promise this will be the very last thing. It was saying like, what is the best hip hop opening line in a song of all time? Like the best opening line in a hip hop song.
Oh wow.
And I was just like, and it don't have to be of all time. It could just be like y'all's favorite. And personally, I said, "Dear Slim, I wrote you, but you still ain't calling." I didn't stand. Like that's like my favorite, one of my favorite hip hop songs.
That's hard, dude. Like, why you do that to me?
Give me a second. It's gonna come.
Good.
I hate you.
Yeah, that was the worst thing to do to me because
Chad.
My mind is gone.
So many songs that's in my head right now, and I'm trying to narrow it down to one.
Oh my god, dang.
He loving this too, by the way. If y'all don't know this, if y'all out there don't realize this, he loves doing this to us. He evil.
Yeah, he's horrible because I'm blank. I'm blank face right now.
I think I would say, just off of what I can think of now, so I won't be here for hours. I would say I really like his intro to that song. I think it's called. It's off of the Never Story. I think the song is called General, and he opens up with like a guitar, kind of like a slow like bass, and then he says, "My wisdom tooth is killing me."
All right, okay.
That's a good one.
Yeah, then he just starts rapping off of the bass line, and he says, "My wisdom tooth is killing me," and then he just starts rapping.
The only thing that I can think of right now is I've been listening to The Camp. By the way, I got that on vinyl. And
that too.
And all I think right now it's from it's from Heartbeat, and he was like, "We fuck till we come to conclusions."
Yeah.
And I like that shit. I like that. I don't know why I like the wordplay of that. That's just like that album's like one of my favorites. I've listened to that.
Oh, me too. But Bino's like the king of punchlines, though. For me.
Yeah, he is. That entire song is just filled with.
He's the king of punchlines.
Like you just can't get
like
away with it.
I think my favorite line from Gambino ever is one of the lines he said. Text said I'm wet. I said, hold on, wait a minute. H2O plus my D. That's my hood. I'm living in it. That's
That's
like
that's good.
Yeah.
Like favorite of all time.
He's got too many good ones. Like that one is the first one that came to my mind, but there's so many I'm just trying to think of right now.
It is. I think I got mine.
Okay.
Hold on. I think I got mine. I was gonna choose a Nas, a Nas one, but I just remember it. It's not okay. Technically, even if it's a group, the other person is at the beginning of their verse. That counts, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Completely.
I got mine then. Give me like 2 seconds. I just gotta pull it up. It's from Protect Your Neck, and it's Jizz's part.
Oh shit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Jizz's part. I want to say it right. That's why I'm not just trying to jump in there. So let me see. Yeah, What he says, the woo is too slamming for these cold killing labels. Some ain't had hits since I seen Aunt Mabel. Been doing artists in it like Kane did. Able now the money getting stuck to the gun under the table.
Oh.
Okay. All right.
Okay. You can't really do too much better than Wu-Tang either.
That's what I'm saying.
no.
Like you really
can't.
could use like everybody's like opening to
Basically.
that song. Like, but that was so good to me because the crazy ass was right before Jizza. He was like, man, go and see him. He's doing all that.
Yeah.
And Jizza just came in smooth and was like, man, let me show y'all how to end it real quick. And he took him, because he even say, he's like, did Jizza take the fuck out of here? And then he come in and he take him out of there. So that's mine. I was gonna do Nas opening line from like one of his first songs. He was with the main source. I think it's called. Man, what's the name of the song? I forget what it's called. Oh, something live at the basement, and he says some crazy shit. But yeah, that one, that's a good one. I think I'm okay with that.
Okay.
I'm okay with the one that I thought of.
Yeah, I think I'm okay with that.
Even though.
But yeah, like definitely Wu-Tang is unfair because you could think of like I'm thinking of all kind of
Man,
ODB,
what
like,
if ODB, you know that song Triumph, rewind it back on the CD like 100 times so I could get it right because I was like, bro, how is he saying that without messing up, bro? Yes,
bro.
But you know what though? I would say probably for real my favorite intro is the Father Stretch My Hands intro by Kanye.
That's a good one. That's a good
one. If I could just think of a better one, but I've been here for a year.
Yeah, because
so many good ones, though.
It is. That's such a hard one. And
the only reason I came with something is I just listened to Camp album because I was like, I'd have been here for hours. I didn't even listen to the album because my mind was just like blank. I was like,
there's so many good ones, man.
No,
you can't just be asking like bombshells like that on a.
That's because Chad is evil, man.
On a Friday night almost after 9 my time.
Chad is evil, man. I keep telling people.
I promise that's my last. That is my last. I just wanted to get that out of the way because that really struck me when I read it on social media. That's my last mic drop question for the night. So we definitely good.
He said for the night, so we're gonna get some more in another episode.
Oh yeah, definitely next week you're gonna get some more for sure. But for tonight,
here's the thing. Hey, Josh, take his phone from him. Don't let him get on Twitter or nothing like that because he be getting these Twitter ideas. Lock his ass out of that Twitter thing because he be coming with some diabolical. He don't even warn us. Like we can't even get no prep work. We can't even be Batman.
No,
we can't even be Batman in this. The only person that got prep work was
you. Put me on the spot, man. I like it.
There's no script. I didn't do any prep work. I'm just off the dome thinking of this.
I like it.
Nah, not even, bro. You had time to think about the question.
Hey, I like it, Chad. Keep it up. Keep it coming. I like a challenge, man.
That was a challenge, though. But dang, why you gotta come out of
like that? I don't know. But I bomb atomically.
Hey,
Socrates philosophy hypotheses.
But that thing is so hard, bro. Like that is.
Hey,
I'm done.
I'm
done.
I'll be fine about it. But damn, you just be throwing those shit out of nowhere. You be just haymakers. Like you got us in the beginning of the episode and you get us at the end of the episode. It ain't fair today.
Hey man.
Hey.
I'm sorry. This is what I do, man.
Yeah.
Like that out here is like so.
And also before we get out of here, like one of my other like favorite opening lines from Gambino is that remember R.I.P. with him and the rest in peace to them niggas who was dead wrong. Tony Braxton to them niggas. That's his last song. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, shit.
yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh,
But that's it, y'all. I'm done.
that's it. We done.
Something
No more
to
heat.
get
Get us
something to
fired. The mic
bar,
is
man.
hot. The
Something to
mic
get
is hot,
bars.
man. The mic is hot.
But yeah, man. So on that note, y'all, definitely, this has been a great podcast for all of our viewers and listeners out there. If you like anything that we've been talking about, man, and that's from She-Hulk to anime to anything in hip hop, please comment under our videos. We will love to respond and talk to you guys about all that good stuff, man. But yeah, y'all, once again, this has been the Score Round Table podcast. And basically, you can listen to all of our stuff, guys, on our website every week or every day if you like. To our website is scoreroundtablepod.fandomlim.com. And one more time, that's scoreroundtablepod.fandomlim.com. And one of the other things I want to talk about tonight, guys, I wanted to also tell our viewers and listeners out there that we've been picked up again by another radio station. Big ups to us on that. I'm very proud of me, very proud of all of you guys. Yeah, y'all, big shout out to Rap Nerd radio station. We'll be on there premiering. This episode should premiere next week, and I think it's going to be out every Tuesday and Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So for all of our viewers and listeners, you can watch us on YouTube, all of the streaming platforms. You can watch us on our website, squareroundtablepod.fandomlim.com, and now you can also catch us on the Rap Nerd radio station. Guys, just type in Rap Nerd and you can get to that internet radio station, and we will be on for should be about an hour. It depends on how long every episode will be. But it'll be at 7 p.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So make sure you check that out, guys. And Dmitri, so you can go ahead from there, bro.
Oh, okay. You summed that up real good for me, but I'll get my spill. You can catch us on YouTube at any time. If you want to catch it today, tomorrow, in the future, that's perfectly fine. But you can catch us on YouTube. If you like the video, smash that like button. Smash that like button. Leave us a comment on the video if you agreed with our opinions on She-Hulk or you disagreed. If you disagree or agree with our opinion on anime is cartoon and cartoon is anime, then come in the comment section below. And if you have a better one-liners or better openers than us, or you agree with our openers, leave that in the comment section below. And also follow us on all the socials, our Twitter, Instagram, and a pesky Facebook group. And
we're on TikTok.
We're making moves, guys. You know what I'm saying? We're making moves. And share the video because that helps us out a lot. Gets us out, gets more people on us and stuff like that, and we can bring more content to you anyway. But yeah, I think I'm good. I think I did my spill. Yeah.
All right, awesome. With that being said, fellas, I would love everybody to introduce themselves one more time before we end this night. And just every week, guys, I'm your host, Chad Singleton.
Dmitri.
I'm Josh. Hashtag yes. Hashtag no.
And I'm Marcus.
All right, y'all. This is the Square Round Table podcast. We are out. Peace.